So if you're viewing this course, you are probably looking for the way to build these REST services in .NET themselves. And let's talk about some different approaches that are out there in .NET for building these services, and then let's hone on why Web API, I think, meets the requirements best. You have choices in .NET. This includes ASP.NET WCF. This is where you're going to take the existing SOAP-based stack that WCF exposes and annotate it in a way to allow JSON objects or non-SOAP objects to be returned from those sorts of services. Configuration in WCF in general can be a headache, and this is continued whether you're using REST with a WCF stack or not. Another choice is to use ASP.NET MVC, and this would be extending the controller model to return data that is in JSON format or to accept posts, puts, deletes, and other verbs in your controllers. You can certainly do this, and there's a lot of applications out there that do this. This can be difficult because often you're trying to match the names of verbs inside of action methods in ASP.NET MVC, and you tend to have collisions with the same method having the same number of parameters, even though you're really specifying one as a get and what is a put and what is a post, etc. So it can become a little overzealous. And again, having to add attributes at every level to specify, oh, this is a post, this is a put, this is a delete, this is a get, can be cumbersome. The other choice you can make is ASP.NET Web API, and this was designed specifically for this use case. It's more natural to implement REST because verbs are directly mapped to methods. So the method name of get actually does a get, the method name of put does a put, post does a post, etc. And it takes these natural conventions that make more sense for exposing each of the controllers that are specific to REST-based APIs. It encourages the separation of what you're mapping and what you're building. So instead of having to use attributes to say, this is magically where a post or a put goes, you can have the controller be more self-describing so that you know a post is a post and a get is a get. It also allows you to host outside of IIS, and in some cases being able to build these sorts of services that you're using inside of an enterprise or for a custom solution like dropshipped machines. This can be really useful for allowing you to host it both in IIS as well as self-hosting it or even in other web servers. The one caveat here is ASP.NET Web API does require .NET 4 or above, and so if you're still using ASP.NET 3.0, 3.5, or even back to 2.0, this is a limiting factor and you may want to choose one of the other choices. So let's see how Web API works.